I got a question that said, did you guys break up? I just kind of, that was funny. I said, no, man, like everybody's somewhere Monday through Friday, or Monday through Saturday, everybody's somewhere. And then Sunday's almost like,
You want to breathe.
yeah.
Just lock yourself in a closet. Yeah.
And it's hard to, now there's so much going on. It's hard to pick and choose what you cover because you don't want to cover the Rose Bowl and forget about the Gator Bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Jim, you're a music guy. What's a band that hasn't broken up?
I'll tell you why ZZ Top has not broken up. They
Okay.
do not travel together.
Oh shit.
That's the key to. Remember when people always be like, "Damn, you took 2 cars to a tournament?" I said, "Yeah." Like ZZ Top takes 6 buses to. You know what I mean? Like, fucking yeah. That's the key. The key
All
is
right.
not traveling together.
Okay.
You know.
Well, good to know. We will not travel together. No, we are not
I was
breaking
gonna
up.
say if
We're bonded by the passion of wrestling, so we're all good here, guys. Mark Stewart, how have you been? Where have you been at lately?
Cheerleading stuff.
Okay. Have
And
you
getting
got
a new pup.
yeah, and you got a new pup. Where's the pup at? Let's show the audience what kind of trouble you just got yourself into.
He seems pretty docile, man. He's
He is.
chill.
Yeah, give him a month around Mark Stewart. He ain't gonna be
Yeah.
docile.
Yeah.
Hold on.
No shit.
He's got like grayish
Yeah.
blue eyes. He's fawn colored. Just a stud. I was thinking about naming him actually. The one name I kind of think I might name him is Stud. Just Stud.
You gonna attract some wrestler moms with him or what?
Well, I brought him to the cheer comp, and I got to be honest. Every woman I walked by tried to pet my fucking dog.
Yeah.
Real quick, Jim.
Talk to me.
Other famous bands who've never broken up:
Well,
Duran
the Rolling Stones. Oh,
the Rolling
okay.
Stones, U2, Coldplay, Depeche Mode, and I don't know who the Cores or the Clanet are, but that's a
Well, if we can, getting back to some wrestling though, Mark Stewart, you haven't been. You did say that you were at the Chicagoland.
Oh, I went to the North Chicagoland Conference, the Chicagoland Conference tournament today. I went and watched the Grays Lake Central Grant Duel. I went somewhere else, and then I saw a couple like tournaments there for a second, but not too much. I watched some.
Yeah.
Watched quite a bit of live streams and like the feeds to tournaments.
Yeah.
Did we do when? I don't know when we did this last. Like the last, I was gonna tell you, I was at Cheesehead, and then we haven't done anything since then. Correct? I
Correct.
think that's the last time we.
Yeah. Last time we recapped the pit and Cheesehead, and that was it.
Okay. So last night we went to Washington for that. It was called the Dovetail. Remember we talked about? Mark talked about it, or you guys? We talked about it with Nick Miller.
Yeah.
Dude, Nick Miller did not give himself enough credit or give the guys enough justice of how nice of a job they really did down there.
It's like, a production, isn't it?
Dude, they did a nice job playing. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It ran smooth. It was cool. It was just cool. Like they, and Renee didn't go. She just asked me. She goes, "How was that? How was that? Like, was it cool?" And I go, compared to all the shit we've been to, and that sounds like arrogant, right? Like, oh, no way, babe. We've been all over. Like, we've been all over, right? We've been to every tournament there is. It was cool. It just was. It was.
Did they incorporate a lot of people that maybe aren't part of the wrestling community, or was it just wrestling and only wrestling people?
No, there was no drawn out introductions of anything like that. Like they didn't, and I'm not discrediting the refs. They didn't introduce the refs. You know what I mean? They didn't do anything that you typically are like, oh man, no one.
Yeah. I guess what I was saying is it's called the Dubtown Classic. What was it called? The Dubtown
Dubtown Throwdown.
The
W.
The W.
W.
Dub. That's
Okay, and they host it on a platform.
On a
At the-
stage.
It's in a community center, which is basically half of it's a theater. There's like some banquet rooms, and then there's like a YMCA, for lack of better terms, like on one side of it as well. It's a big ass clean building. Paper towels in the bathroom, running water in the bathroom, like real water. Just nice, just a nice building, real nice building.
Cool.
No concessions. And not that it matters, but like because I'm not eating junk, I almost like to watch, like to go look at the junk even more, you know. No concessions. They had vending machines, and then they had like theater girls, if you know what I mean. Like, you know what a theater girl is? Like,
Yeah,
they
dude. I went.
enunciate when they talk, like they're real, like Lisa Lobish. They had them like at the front where you could buy a water, a white Gatorade, a blue Gatorade, a red Gatorade, and Alani's. They're like, you could buy them from them.
Okay.
So I drank an Alani yesterday for the first time ever.
Did you get the Cherry Crush one?
The cherry cola? Yep. No, cherry cola is a new one. She said it's new. 3 carbs, no sugar, 110 calories. Because I asked like the ingredients, you know.
Did you plug it into MyFitnessPal?
That's her, 'cause I can't even see that. I can't even see that. I can't even see this.
Sorry, I
so-
can't have that. That's not on my diet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, to put
Well,
on a-
so how did the duel win? Was I correct? I saw ending score
36, 31.
36-31.
Marion.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. They started off at 280. So in the beginning, they said like, "Hey, our 215 is going to be our feature match, so we're going to start off at 285." We didn't even have heavyweight, so we started down 6-0. But when they introduced the kids, like they'd introduced the Marion kid first, and he had walkout music, and he'd come down on like a spotlight, and then we introduced the Washington kid as well, like the separate sides of the. I'm not doing this wrong. Like, here's the stage, here's the seating, and then here's the kids. Like, they'd basically meet on the stage. So there was like a little elevated platform they'd run down to the stage. It was neat. It's just a neat setup. Because you're on a stage, there was like, you could hear a mat return, sounded like more of a mat. You know what I mean? Like,
A thud.
yeah.
Well, it's more like it's a subfloor, so like the subfloor creates a little bit of an echo.
Mhm.
Yeah, wrestling rooms that have subfloors, they have that little pop to it. They have a little sound to it.
And of course, it's a theater, so therefore it's acoustically friendly. So like the guy in the mic, crystal clear. The the girls that sang the national anthem did a real good job. Crystal clear. The walkout music was like no distortion, like crystal clear. I mean, just like acoustically friendly.
Okay.
Not a Bluetooth speaker that's all distorted and shit.
Mark, what you were saying something?
I like that they read off like full accolades for the edit.
They did you.
Because I watched the live stream from which shout out Wendy French, Danny French's mom lives. You know, she went Facebook Live, so you could watch it. But when kids had credentials, they read it off, not just like HSA stuff, but other stuff. Your freestyle cred, or
were they there for like 5 minutes with a couple of these guys?
No, this was a little bit long for White Mountains was, but they weren't. They just did like more recent. Like,
I got you.
2-time state champ, Super 32 champ, 3rd at Ironman, 4th at Fargo last year, ranked number 1 at 190, Jimmy Massey. And then they did Hoffer. They did a couple of his things. You know, I just thought it was cool to recognize him that way.
Got it. Well, what about the wrestling? So there was one main matchup. That was the marquee match. But was there any other tight matchups, or was it just kind of back and forth until the points?
There, Augie at 144 wrestled Caden Parks, maybe, or I don't know his first name. Caden Parks is a different kid. But the kid's last name was Parks. That kid was big. So, here's why I got lucky. Bob and Bowden Delaney actually came because they lived like 20 minutes from there, and they sat behind me. So I could tell every time Washington could come out, I could ask Bob anything, and he knew. Like, he knew all the Washington kids. So I would just say, hey, are we going to win this one? Or I mean, because Bob knows wrestling, obviously, so he knew a lot of our guys. But it was nice to have somebody that knew everybody. You know, it was good to see them. You know, Bowden looks good, big, tall kid, man. Looks real good.
Where's
Did
he
he-
at now? I can't remember.
Is he still
Never
at?
mind. Yeah, as far as I know, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it was neat. They like Mark said, they listed off some accolades, and then Hogan Hogan Rice looked good. He got it. Hogan was our first win. We lost at 106. Hoagie Bear came out. Hoagie pinned him. 120. We had who did we have? Whedon.
Yep.
We lost at 120. Who we had? We double forfeit at 26. Spinola's won. Spinola's pinned his kid, I believe. 38, Muchaki lost 1-0. Muchaki rode it, dude. This kid got an escape with like 2 seconds left in the second period, and then he rode Muchaki out. It was a 1-0 match. 44 Augie pinned him. 50 was who was 150? Oh, Pup's debut. Pup looked really good. I don't know I'm not sure who he wrestled. I remember Bob saying like, you know, he just, you know, your average kid, I guess, but like Pup looked good. Pup was moving great. You know, Pup looked good. 57 was
Tierney and Cruz Brawley or whatever, maybe.
yeah, Browley. So I met him. I guess he grew up with Noonan. So he's obviously a good guy. I've dealt with Josh Noonan. You know. See, Wyatt teched Nick Castasio. It wasn't like it was, you know, it wasn't like a dirty tech. You know what I mean? Like Wyatt wasn't like a, you know what I mean? You know what I mean by like a dirty tech. You know what I mean? It was just
Sort of.
wrestling.
Yeah, I get it. Well, Wyatt's just, I mean, he's so good. So.
Yep. 75, Gronkowski lost. He got teched. And then that's when French came out and pinned his kid. And I want to say, what would the dual score have been then? Because I think
That made it 30-31.
30-31. So I guess it kind of came down to 215, yeah.
They were up 7-1 in the last two duels.
Yep.
And how did that one go?
I guess not how I expected. I mean, I don't know what I mean by what I expected, but Jimmy was up 14-0 in the first period, and then carried him to his back in the second period pretty early, and pin got the fall. So, you know, attack or a pin, one way or the other.
Interesting. Yeah, that's not what I expected necessarily. I mean, I definitely know that I have a lot of confidence in Jimmy, but you know, Hoffer was what, one match away? How many matches away was he at Ironman?
He placed last year.
He didn't have a good Ironman.
Okay.
But Hoffer's good. I mean, and Hoffer's a legit 215, right? Like he's a
Big boy.
yeah, and he's good. So I mean, he's not just like big, you know. I mean, he's good.
Okay. Well, that's
But
a
yeah,
preview.
it almost seemed like it was almost like two different speeds. If that makes, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
two
No, I could see
different
it.
speeds maybe.
Well, that match is most likely still going to happen here again in 30 days. What did I just say? How many days are left to the state tournament? The state tournament is in 25 days.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So fast.
February 19th through the 21st, I believe. Just
Yeah.
because someone looked it up last night.
Okay.
Oh,
so
Uncle Jack came last night. he's wild. He's like more violent than Mark online. But he's so old, it doesn't matter. Like no one can take Jack serious, you know.
Hold it against them. Me, they take it personal and they want to
Yeah.
gotta be things and be sarcastic to get my point across.
Just wait a couple of years when you get a little older and you get when that beard's gray and you can't walk really good. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, then people will just be like, "Yeah, I'm not even gonna argue with that guy anymore."
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, what else is up? I mean, a lot of conference tournaments this week. Regionals starts next week. This is the end of the season. Do you guys know the regional assignments for where what's the 2A regional assignments? Where's Marion going?
I have no idea.
I had it up a while ago. I thought it was crazy. I thought some of it was crazy.
It is crazy.
Bringing a bunch of the Crystal Lake area schools out to Geneseo for a sectional. What the fuck
Oh,
are we doing here, guys?
that's where we're going is Geneseo.
Yeah.
For sectionals or regionals?
No, they are. I don't remember where the regional is.
Okay, I'm looking assignments. Let's see. 2A. All right, I got regionals. Oak Forest.
Really?
No, they're not in Oak Forest. That's
Oh.
just
Hold on. I'm looking. Marion.
Well, where are you guys at either while they're looking?
Woodstock Marion is at
We go down to like Robinson
Harvard.
for regionals.
Harvard Regional, Jim.
Harvard. Oh, that's good. That's
You
convenient.
got Belvedere, Belvedere North, Crystal Lake Central, Crystal Lake Prairie Ridge, Crystal Lake South, Harvard, Woodstock, Woodstock Marion, Woodstock North. So
I will say that
hold on. Are we gonna see Randall Nardin at regionals, right?
Randall's at 38.
Okay. Never mind. Who's at 44? I know Belvedere has got a guy. Landon Van Acker. And I'm trying to think there's a Crystal Lake Central. I thought it was Randall, but maybe not. All right. Where did you say you guys are at, Ealer?
We're down in Robinson. I don't know that there'll be 190 is the weight to watch down there. I think there's 4 ranked kids in that regional at 190, but so obviously somebody's not going, but we'll see what happens.
Yep. And then this regional, so I feel like I was wrong. Well, at least I got bad information. Somebody told me that the regional was at Oregon, but that's not true. The regional is at Stillman Valley for 1A.
Really?
Yeah, it says team sectional is at Oregon. Dual team sectional is at Oregon. Byron is the individual sectional, and then Stillman Valley is the regional. And Riverdale, Princeton, Richmond, Burton. All right. So we'll get to see who's in the mix next week. We're gonna find out. Is any big injuries? I know I don't know if it matters. A lot of people have been injured throughout the season, some to the point where we don't know if they're going to compete or not. But when regionals happens, we're going to find out, right? So
Yeah,
it's hard to totally speculate because it's really useless. Because if they show up on the Saturday, right? Regionals are only one day,
correct.
and then sectionals 2 days. So yeah, should be fun.
We're in our sectionals in Geneseo, you said, Mark?
Yeah.
Yep. Which is, I mean,
That's all.
yeah, it's not a far ride for you, Jim.
What do you mean?
It's like on your way to Iowa, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, you go to Iowa and you stop at there's one town, I forget what the town is called. Do you know what it is, Jim?
Right before?
Yeah, like when you're driving
On 80?
80, yeah. I forget what it's
Fulton.
called. Nah. There's another name.
So who leads and who follows? Like if you guys are like the band that always stays together because you travel separately, like does Renee go first and you follow, or is it the other way around?
She goes first because I don't ever want to be there. I'm like, dude, I have a fear of waiting in line to like I don't even know what it is. Like I can't ride the American Eagle because I can't wait in line. You know.
Yeah.
Made out of wood, and it sounds like shit. I'm always afraid it's gonna break.
Yeah, that's funny. That's the only roller coaster I went on at Six Flags, and it is it's made of
Super
wood
creaky and cracky,
yeah,
and yeah,
I won't
it's
do it again.
rough.
It's
Holy
8
shit,
minutes.
is that thing rough?
So I grew up around it, and now I can't stand the place.
Other notes, other topics that I think are interesting, I guess. Some college wrestling stuff. I mean, have you guys been paying attention to the college wrestling scene? I mean,
Yep.
Iowa loses to Penn State pretty decisively, but then they kind of go out and they kind of beat up on Nebraska.
And that duel could have been worse.
Yeah.
That duel had some. I mean, you didn't even wrestle Dean Peterson. You put Joey Cruz out. He still won. I feel like they really did miss that takedown. I think Nasir Bailey had a takedown. By rules, he had a takedown, but you get a bum ref. And I thought that the Jordan Williams stalling call and sudden victory, the way they called that, I thought that was pretty. I don't know that I agree with that call, but it did look like Jordan Williams had enough baby oil or a lube on him to. I mean, he was shiny. He was very shiny.
Yeah.
But then you got to think like, you didn't even have Mo and Dean, whatever the story is. I've heard some pretty reliable sources on what happened, but I don't know that it is reliable. But had they had Mo and Dean still, had he not quit or been kicked off, or I mean, he beats Camden McDaniel all day, and so it could have been worse.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about how 1 week, you're thinking. I mean, again, is it warranted? I mean, Penn State's good. I'm so looking forward to Penn State versus Ohio State. I think that is going to be something worth watching.
And Davino's bonus pointed everybody he's touched.
And now he gets
You know what I
marked plays though.
Yeah. I don't know how many bonus. I think a lot. I think that's going to come down. There's going to be a lot of close matches, and
Be a very low scoring duel.
I was surprised though in the Iowa duel though. Williams, man, to be able to be that close. This I did see the stalling call. I think you have to call it there because that's what they call stalling now, is when you're backing out, and he was not trying to move at all back in. He had enough. But he's dangerous, man. He wrestles upper body. When I went to Iowa and watched practice, I watched him wrestle somebody, and all he did was over double overs and just launch people. And so he's really comfortable in that position, to the point where I thought he was going to try to throw Taylor right in that overtime. But yeah, it was a good duel for them to come back.
Well, they're I don't know how accurate this is, but Iowa's beat Nebraska the last 18 times. Yeah, I don't even know if
I
that's
don't know.
true. I
Sounds
saw that
right.
somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
So I mean, I think they're on paper they have to win that one.
I
Yeah.
thought in that duel, prior to the duel, I saw a way Nebraska won, but my money was that Iowa won. They just match up well, right? But my thought was like, listen, you lost the Cyhawk. You won one match in Carver against Penn State. If they lose to Nebraska, as much as you hear people talk about like we as like Illinoisans or the rest of the country talks about the Brands brothers, you see a lot of defense of the Brand brothers in state, but outside of the state, you hear like they gotta go. But I always say, yeah, good luck with that. But I did think to myself, if Nebraska could beat them, which would have been the first time in like 20 something years, 18 times or 18 duels, whatever. After you lose to Cyhawk for the first time in however long, and then you win one match against Penn State. Like I saw that could have gotten enough. That could have been enough to at least have conversation from the board to get rid of the Brands, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, no. If Nebraska, I think, yeah, they would have brought their full lineup too. for sure if that was the case. But yeah, it was good bounce back. Speaking of, you brought up the Cyhawks, the Cyclones. They won. They shut out Northern Colorado. That Northern Colorado's where they got Steve-O from, Poulin, 25-pounder. He transferred in from there last year. New coaching staff.
Vinny Zurban.
Say that again.
They also got Vinny Zurban from
Oh,
Northern Colorado, and those two, I think they scored 11 points for Iowa State. I think they pinned and decked.
yeah. And that was Dresser's 100th win. So that was good. And then Iowa State wrestles Okie State, I think, this coming week. So big stuff coming on.
Okie State, Mizzou, they lost one duel. The only duel they lost was Sinclair beat Zach Ryder in that.
So Sinclair's at 74?
84.
90s.
84.
Sorry, 84. Zach Ryder's 84. Merrill's at 97, right?
Yeah. Alex Facundo's at 74.
That's what I am. Got it. Yeah. So this is like the bulk of the season for wrestling. As we go into the regionals and sectionals and state for high school, we go into the Big Ten season for wrestling duels, and the Big 12 conference duels as well. So a lot of good stuff coming up. And then
college news. I just found this out a little bit ago, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I went and they told me where to look. But it looks like Drew Periano passed away, Northwestern coach. I don't know what happened, but I was looking at BB's stuff, and he made a couple posts about his passing.
Yeah, I did see that. The former head wrestling coach at Northwestern.
Young.
I did see that.
Yeah, he's young. He's not like 75. He's in his 40s, I think.
Yeah, we'll have to look into seeing what happened with that. But I did see that. That was unfortunate. Another unfortunate area. It's not really unfortunate, but maybe Mark, you might have any insight or any speculation. But have you heard anything else on the Illinois coaching saga?
No. So Jordan did write that letter. I know that he reached out to Josh, the AD over there. Nobody got back to him. I do know that pretty much within like 24, 36 hours, the AD did meet with the wrestling program. He did tell them, the kids, that they'd hoped they'd have a resolution and an answer within this month, sometime in the next 30 days. I don't know if there's any real weight to that'll happen. But what he did say was that he didn't tell them anything about what's going on.
So, and you're saying 30 days from
when they met?
Whatever, when they met the other day after Jordan sent that letter, made that letter, and that kind of went out. The AD did have a meeting with the program where he said that they're still looking into things and they hope to have a resolution in the next 30 days.
Which is, I mean, to be honest, that's crazy that that's the first time the AD has talked to the team. I mean, this is actually more of like, this is kind of an unprecedented situation when it comes to the coaching staff during season and then not having any like clarification on it.
There's been nothing locally. I mean, crickets. I've seen Mike at a couple youth tournaments. I'll probably see him again tomorrow, but
yeah. My son is a coach in Champaign, and he talked to Mike, and Mike couldn't really tell him anything, but
yeah, I mean, what does he even know, right?
He knows what they're looking into.
Yeah.
I haven't spoken to him, and I do have some knowledge, but I'm not going to put it on the air. But what I will say is that at the end of the day, I called a coach into a meeting, and they took his keys. They took all access into the university away from him and said what he was being investigated for. Tell Jeremy Hunter you're the head coach, going for interim head coach, and then escorted him out of the building. And the fact that we are sitting here today without an answer tells me one thing. The university, for whatever reason, is looking into every single thing they can for whatever reason. and I have my opinion on what I think's going on, which I don't want to elaborate too much, but I think that something for them to take this long tells me they're reaching into certain things and like really trying to get something. I don't know.
Yeah, but they just recently signed another contract. So he was going to be head
It
coach
was
for
another 4 year, I believe.
yeah, so 4 years. And so, yeah, I thought this is pretty extensive, like lengthwise, as far as to do whatever they're doing. So it
Yeah.
almost seems like they're looking for something to try to make it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't. If they're looking this long, maybe they can't find anything, and so they're going to be left with crickets. But I still don't understand why they would disrupt the program
I could tell
for
you
that
Yeah.
long.
know why. I just can't say it on the podcast, but I
Got
do.
it.
They're looking into. And
All
but
right.
this is what I want to say. That's real quick. Disregard Mike Poeta or how I feel about Mike Poeta, which is that I like Mike. I've known the guy since he was a kid. I know he's passionate as fuck about being the head coach at the University of Illinois. He didn't get every recruit he wanted, but he recruited hard as fuck, and he got in probably one of the best class he's had as a head coach. Right? You brought in Nick Garcia, Wyatt Medlin, Aaron Stewart, Jackson Penovich, Hoffer, Jake Knight. I know I'm missing somebody, but like I talked to Nick Garcia's mom at Marmion Academy, and I asked her because she was like, "I don't think you like my sons," and I'm like, "No, dude, we love your kid. He's awesome, and I like Marmion Academy." I just wondered why he was going to Illinois because they have a history of sending kids to like the best academic institutions. Now, Illinois is a great college. It has great schools. Like its business school always did really well. But I just thought you'd send him to an Ivy League. His brothers at an Ivy League. They go to prep schools, military academies. And she's like, well, he really liked Mike Poeta. He really wanted to wrestle in the Big Ten, and he really liked Coach Poeta. So when you listen to it, like he said, like that, I think as a university, if you really care about your wrestling program, whatever your situation is, whatever they think, they need to resolve it as fast as they can and move forward because you got your best class you've had in years. Under the new rules, I don't have to follow through on my commitment. I could sign that thing all I want. I could agree to whatever. I don't have to do it. And there's nothing you can do. I can still leave.
That's what I was getting ready to say to Stewie's point. I mean, the timing on this is horrible, right? I mean, he's just gaining traction, recruiting. He's got, like he said, he got the best recruiting class he can, and these kids have no ties to them whatsoever. Who's not going to take a step back and be like, wait a minute, do I really want to be a part of this? I don't even know who my head coach is.
And the other thing is like, listen, I think Jeremy Hunter, he was awesome, and he's had really good results with working with the lighter weights: Zane Richards, Jesse Delgado, Lucas Bird. And that's kind of his focus has always been 25 through 41. But my understanding is Jeremy Hunter does not want to be a head coach. He's the perfect guy for an interim head coach right now. If you want to talk to him about the situation, good luck. That's just his personality. He's very man of very few words. So he doesn't want to be the head coach. So right now, if you were to let go of Mike Poeta and make Jeremy Hunter the head coach, he doesn't want to be the head coach. So that will never happen. So regardless, whatever's going on right now, let's say you get rid of Poeta, you know that Hunter's not your head coach next year. He doesn't want to be. It's not. He doesn't do it. It's not his thing. So it's going to be somebody else. Well, those kids, they're going to want to know. Because if I'm those kids, I want answers. I've committed here. And, it seems to me in football, with my understanding of what they're looking into, nobody would give a shit. We would never hear about this. There would never be an investigation. Nothing. I promise you, what they're looking into would never matter in football or basketball. And it's
Well, it also, if I'm obviously speculating on the reason, but if it's the reason that I was told, then it might not even be a thing because of how many resources are readily available at any given time. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, we'll see, and we are going to get off this podcast so Mark Stewart can tell us.
Well, let me ask Mark about this one then. What happened at Buffalo Grove?
The Hersey. Yeah, is Havercliff still eligible?
My understanding is no. There was 3 kids. One went to Wheeling, Havercleave. Maybe the other one is Sasha. I could be wrong on that. So I'm not going to be held to that criminally or legally. Or
So they're going back. They're supposed to go back to schools.
so they were District 214 in the first place. District 214 is a massive school district. Percy, Wheeling, maybe something else. It's high schools, all in one district. It's 214, biggest district. There was rumors of the kids from the other schools now wrestling at Hersey without moving, or maybe using a fake address or an address that wasn't theirs.
Can I ask a real ignorant question?
Yeah,
Is Hersey a public school or private school?
they're all public.
Okay.
Which is kind of why I made a stink on Facebook when we go
I saw your post.
2 years ago, and I was at
Yeah.
public schools recruit way worse than privates, and nobody gives a shit or talks about it. But anyways, they did an internal investigation. They fired. So what that tells me is this: like their head coach, I think has 4 years to retirement. I don't know that they fired him from his job, but I've heard from people he lost his job.
Well, no, I was actually the last thing that I saw was like a news snippet video, and they
Yep.
said that they were still conducting like further I don't know, arguments because he has tenure, and yeah, they were just doing stuff like
Yeah.
that. So
Well, here's the thing: when you fight it with the union, the first thing they try to do is offer you a resignation, and then that saves you. And he's an IMRF retirement plan, I believe. And there's rules and there's about certain things that can affect your pension. But the last thing you ever want to do is get fired as an educator. You want to resign because you don't have to answer to getting fired because you resigned. And then they can't even talk about it anyways.
I got it.
I'll pass. But anyways, bottom line is they fired the entire coaching staff from wrestling. Chris Riley, who was retired, former Highland Park, Kaylin Riley's father, somehow got a call. He's now the head coach. I don't know if he's going to continue to be the head coach after this year, but he's doing it. The 3 kids were sent back to their public high school. And my understanding is that they are not allowed to compete this year. They will be allowed to compete this year, but because they did this, they're out.
Wow, I hope that's not true. I mean, it's unfortunate about the coaches and the teachers. I mean, but they're adults, man. The fucking
They got to know. Yeah.
Well, it's like my thing. Like anytime they come after a kid, I'm like, why are you coming after the kid, dude? The kid did what his parents signed off on, or what a coach agreed to. Like, if a coach was actively recruiting a kid who's from another school, I don't even care. I don't. But at the same time,
well, I mean,
what do you kid? You want to discipline the coach? Discipline. It's still
okay.
Yeah, if the kid's getting recruited, props to the kid for being
good enough to get recruited.
Elite. Yeah, I mean, it's so weird to dislike that. It's just so, or it's so, I don't like. I get going on that.
Yeah.
It's insane. But
well, I think there's a difference because it's not necessarily saying that that someone dislikes the kid or they're trying to make a point because he's too good. They're trying to make statements so that people are discouraged from doing it. But let's talk about the thing that we kind of talked about a little bit. This new rule with the IHSA, again, it's a rule right now. It was supposed to be a law. It's a rule. So that somebody didn't have to make a law. But like situations like this where guys want to go to a different place and now they get suspended. Okay, well, in the meantime, those guys can go compete and find different events. And I think that there's some positive. I mean, again, I don't know what I'm kind of getting at. It's like the idea of like, we live in a state where they don't encourage nor do they accept open enrollment, right? Where these other states have had enough time. I just saw, I should pull it up. I had a map where what states had open enrollment and stuff like that.
But I know the map you're talking about, but there's different types of open enrollment when you look into it. But I'll say this, in Illinois, let's say you go to a school that doesn't perform at like a certain level academically over like a couple of years, if you want, you can get a voucher and you can pull your kid out of your district because the academic score so low, like according to the state testing, and you can get a waiver, and then you have to pay like a tax waiver. They cover a certain part, but then you have to cover the remaining of like what you would pay to go to that school district. Now you can do that for academics. Well, what if I'm a really, really, really good wrestler and I have a school where my coach doesn't know a dick about wrestling and I don't have any partners? What am I supposed to do? Isn't that the same idea? Same theory?
Same theory. Who's going to argue based on whether they're good or not? I mean, I guess how do they argue with the academics? Just test scores? Yeah, I guess test scores.
I like how the one time I asked Jim, we had a kid transfer in from another school, and I asked him, how big of a deal it was in season to get the kid back on the mat and make it so he can compete. And the first thing Big Jim said, it all depends on how good he is.
Yeah, whether or not somebody's going to look into the stuff further. Yeah, it always, again, most of this stuff always starts with, a disgruntled coach that an athlete left. Again, we could talk about that. I am a big, I don't even know if it's called an advocate, but I despise coaches who think they own kids. I despise them, and especially ones that think they own them just because of the geographic location that their parents decided to buy a house, and so that's where oftentimes it starts is the coach who thought that they were going to get blessed with that individual to coach at the state tournament decides to go to a different school, and then that coach and those staff, they get offended by it, and then they cast those accusations and get people to look into it. So it's because always based on people reporting it and then complaining, and then they have to, if nobody complained about it, it would all be legal because nobody would complain about it.
Yeah.
So
haters are going to hate.
Yeah, it normally starts with a disenfranchised coach, somebody who thought they were going to get a state champ or a state placer, and then they go somewhere else. So,
but here's what's crazy about the name of the game when you're in high. We're talking about wrestling, so we're going to talk about wrestling. And this is not wrestling specific, but we'll keep it that way. The name of the game, if you're pursuing this and this is your goal, the name of the game in high school is to be recruited by 30 schools, right? That's the dream. 15, 10, 5, 30, whatever. That's the name of the game. The whole point of going to high school, wrestling in high school, if you're going to pursue this, is to be recruited by a college. Well, guess what the whole point of wrestling in Tulsa and preseason nationals and all that stuff, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Guess what the whole point of that is? To be real good. It's so Palazzo from Lake Highland Prep calls you. It's so who was the guy from, I never know his name, Desmond or whatever from
FCA.
No,
you're talking Blair, but he's not there anymore.
Blair, yeah, okay, whatever. For that guy to call you, that's, dude, you're wrestling to be recruited for high school. You are.
Yeah.
Wherever you end up. But that's it. It makes no sense. It doesn't make sense, and it's no different than IESA programs, like when they're kids and they go to different high schools. What does that change? Like they were together, right? And no one's complaining when they wrestle together on the same middle school team, but then they go to different high schools, right? Or middle school. I'm sorry, they wrestle together for middle school. Yeah, does that make sense? Just because you're at the same middle school doesn't mean you end up in the same high school, does it?
Yep. Nope.
Yeah.
And that might just be, I don't know. It's fucked up. It's just.
It's like everything else in Illinois. It's broke.
Yeah.
But I do think we are embarking on a new generation of possibilities. I think this is it's the final stages of absolute control. Again, I'm going to write a couple articles, I think, in the coming weeks about the monopoly of competition. There, and there used to be, for the most part, in season, there's a monopoly on competition. The only place you can compete and, put your skill set on display is through high school sports. And, I think that that's changing. So there will be a disruption, and that disruption will change the game of wrestling for the better, because most of the time we're talking about kids that that don't have the situation or opportunity to leave and go to a different training environment. Those kids end up failing. The ones that do get to find the right training environments, the right people to be around that motivate them and inspire them to get good, they get great. And so I think we're real close to a new layout. So that's pretty nice to look to. So it's down. It's unfortunate. Hopefully, Havacleaf is awesome. I love watching that kid wrestle.
Yeah, yeah.
Regardless, I really hope to see him at the state series, and if not, we'll see him in the off season, and we will speak his name because that kid deserves it because he's very good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just it. I mean, hey, like, he's bigger than I just say wrestling. He's bigger than high school wrestling, but that's not easy to say, man. Because believe me, I lived it. Like, it's easy to say, hey, you're bigger than this. This really doesn't matter. I mean, look at the kids that wrestle. Look at the majority of them. Like, they're just doing it because they're doing it, right? Like, he's elite. He's one of them elite kids where, like, the high school is almost like a jump, a necessary process.
Yeah.
It's just hard to accept that, though. That if you can't do it, you want to do it.
Yeah, wrestlers are competitors, so they want to find a gym to go compete in, and like I said, if the only show in town is the one through the school, it can be demoralizing. But like you said, luckily there's outside opportunities in the off season for sure, but now potentially in the in season. Again, we'll revisit this. This is a good ending to it. I'm glad to get a chance to catch up with you guys, and yeah,